It's a republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible.
All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Volrath,
Here.
Mr. Blanton,
Here.
Mr. Robinson,
Here.
All right, can I have an acceptance for the minutes, February 21st, 2024, the regular meeting, of the Board of Trustees? So make a motion to accept the minutes of February 21st, 2024, regular meeting.
So we're gonna do it individually.
Yeah, I guess we can move through what you,
Or should we do it as
way.
We should. Okay, really, second individually. Okay, I second.
okay, vote. Mr. Volrath,
Yes.
Mr. Blanton,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
All right, the acceptance of the minutes from February 27th, 2024, special meeting of the Board of Trustees. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the February 27th, 2024, special meeting of the Board of Trustees.
Second.
Mr. Volrath,
Yes.
Mr. Blanton,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Acceptance of the minutes of the March 10th, 2024, special meeting of the Board of Trustees. I'll make a motion to accept those minutes of March 5th, 2024, special meeting of the Board.
Second.
Mr. Volrath,
Yes.
Mr. Blanton,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Acceptance of the minutes of the March 6th, 2024, regular meeting of the Board of Trustees. Make a motion to accept the minutes of the March 6th, 2024, regular meeting of the Board of Trustees.
Second.
Mr. Volrath,
Yes.
Mr. Blanton,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
For the acceptance of the invoices that are listed.
Make a motion that, that we accept all the invoices that have been submitted to fiscal officer and administrator.
No, second.
Mr. Volrath,
Yes.
Mr. Blanton,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
All right, Lieutenant, Sheriff's report.
Good evening, everybody. This is Lieutenant Kilroy, the Sheriff's Department. Here's the stats for last month, February. In February, we had 266 total runs. 169 of those were dispatch runs. 97 of those were what we call non-illegal, but those are self-initiated incident traffic stops investigation. As far as service exchange, Miami Township cars were sent, or were asked to come out of the township to assist with other things, area please, Whitewater Township, 125 times. 19 of those times they were disregarded, so they responded 6 times. County cars outside of Miami Township were asked to assist Miami Township cars 77 times. 49 times they did come in, and 28 times they were disregarded. Officers took 16 criminal reports, 16 non-criminal reports, and 7 auto accidents during the month of 12. Any questions?
Is there any area in Miami Township that you're seeing more usage of the cars than others? Or is it even
I would say this last month, and I'm not saying that that's every month, but when I was going through the reports, as far as reports and things, it did seem like East Miami River Road had quite a bit of action. I wouldn't say it's every month. I think looking for just a certain area that hits with a number of things happening, but not last month, yes, but overall.
Thank you. All right, any more questions for the lieutenant? I don't think that.
Thank you.
Yes.
I've heard from you the way you run. Same question. Sure.
Put it out again, just
Again, yes, a great job.
All right, administrative report, Mr. Brett.
Good evening. I'm gonna try to run through this fairly quickly. Just the one thing with the fire department is, later on your agenda is the opportunity to officially hire Matt Schuman as our new fire chief. He signed his offer letter with us and, assuming we're gonna go through with that hiring process tonight, his first day will be April the 8th. And, I know everybody's looking forward to having him on board. Bulk water fill station for tanks. I believe that, Alec Ewing and I spoke with Bob Merkel, who's the new solicitor for the Village of Please last Friday. I think we have everything pretty much worked out in the last draft that I got today, so I hope to, be able to have that to Mayor Burkholz and Please Council for their next meeting. And, on their approval, we can just continue to move forward. Whispering Farms RFP is out, and I'll be sending that to vendors who have asked information about it. And Mr. Bland asked me yesterday what the date was for closing on those proposals, and I can't recall. I didn't write it in here. I'll email that to you. I did talk with Steve Bittner, who is the new president of the Whispering Farms HOA, about the project. He also asked us about installing a couple stop signs. Mr. Miller and I are going to look at that. So they're aware that the project is coming up, and they're excited that we're going to be there and get it done. And so weather permitting, hopefully by June. Maintenance department, Mr. Miller rode the township streets with Dominic from Strasser, and he should be getting up the list of recommendations, what products for what roads, as part of our annual maintenance within the next week or so. Mr. Miller and I also looked at the ball field here at the community center. We're going to look at options to at least partially raise part of the outfield. And we're also going to present you with options to do more than that. We've got a couple ideas, but that would be for next year. So I really haven't got to talk with JJ much because during the winter he's not busy, and then when he gets here in the spring, I'm going to have to go down and follow him around the ballpark. But we're going to work with him and Andy Messer on determining the size of that third infield, so we can work on that as well. Let's see, community center parking lot lights. We received 4 quotes on that, and the lowest is from Brennan Electric. That's for your consideration later on. What we're going to do, because we've had trouble with the automatic system, is we're going to take those lights off of that system. Each light will be controlled by a photocell. I know that's new technology that's probably 50 or 60 years old, but that way if a light goes out, we know that either there's no electric to it, the photocell pad, or the bulbs are dead. So we are still planning to, the proposals for 4 LED lights, which will cut down on our electric costs. The library, I ran into Barry Bernard at the We Thrive meeting today. He asked if I would just share that their Tiny Art Show started yesterday, runs through April 27th. There's some information back on the back table about that. So just a quick list of meetings. Obviously, Alex Ewing regarding the union contract for the fire department, the Please agreement, fire department employee litigation. We met about 5 times total since our last meeting on the 3rd. Chief Schuman, we met as a candidate and then had several meetings in between. Someone that Trustee Bland and Trustee Borath ran into at the Ohio Township Association conference, Stone Hugger Restoration. They're providing us with a price to restore some of the old headstones in the cemetery. And if once we get to look at everything, they said the circle of Civil War headstones, they could probably get that before Memorial Day if we wanted to do that. So we'll have information for you regarding that coming soon. The ambassadors meeting was held March 6th. It was well attended. Each of the trustees had an opportunity to address the folks in attendance. I thought that was went really well. The District Advisory Council for the Hamilton County Public Health District met. They elected a new member to take Mark Rippey's place, and Mark's been there probably 12, 15 years. His name is Eric Knapp. Max Miller was elected to fill the remaining 3 years of my term, and Max is a resident here in Miami Township. He works for Great American Insurance, seems like a really good, well-rounded person, and he's somebody that Mark Rippey had recommended, and he's been following along looking at our board packets and everything for over 6 months, so I think he'll represent the west side very well, and we're glad to have him. Also at that meeting, Tony Rosilli from Green Township will be the chair for the District Advisory Council in 2024-2025. And Dee Stone from Anderson Township will be the secretary. There was a small fee increase at the Board of Health when I was a board member, added to the contributions from townships and villages, and then the contract cities as well. But with the changes in valuation, the Miami Township portion is actually going to be reduced by $818 over what we paid this year. Always good. So I met with Mark Rosenberger and Heather, Mark, I don't know how to say Heather. Regarding the park, then we met a second time with Trustee Blanton, and then I met with Mark again, and he has a presentation coming up later on. I talked with Thomas Welsh. We had a Zoom meeting from Karma to discuss our property and casualty insurance. Our renewal is up now, but the biggest item in the renewal is the change in the deductible, where in the past, most of the deductibles were $500, sometimes up to $1,000. The new deductible across the board for every occurrence is $5,000. So while the folks at Karma are not real happy about having to deal with that, it was a board decision that the Karma board made. And we really don't have an option to go anyplace else right now until we finish up some litigation that we're involved in. So, but when we are, we'll look at that. Met with Fred Schlemm about the roundabout here at Shady Lane. Trustee Robeson was in attendance with that as well. And one of the things that all three of the trustees had said to me individually was, well, what about dog trot? We need to do something at dog trot in Bridgetown. So Fred's recommendation is that we expand the Shady Lane project down to dog trot, do something at La Rosa's to get a turn lane in there, get sidewalks all the way through that area. And he feels like we would have a better shot at doing that entire project than just this one, because dog trot apparently has more accidents and it's more on their radar. So we're looking into possibilities for that. Let's see, and just a quick list of upcoming meetings. The fire department union and I will be getting together tomorrow night to just discuss the start of their contract. Have a department head meeting with all the department directors on Friday. Western Hamilton County Economic Council is Friday as well. I will be at the Ohio Auditors Conference next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I'll also be taking the ethics class on one of the afternoons up there, so that'll wrap up about 3 hours extra. And the Durango Green Homeowners Association has asked that I sit in on a Zoom meeting with them. That's all I have, unless you have questions for me.
Any questions for Mr. Brown?
Thank you.
Ready, Mr.
To get this screen out here first, make sure we got all the electrons working.
We're gonna have Mark Rosenberg. Back in January. It's gonna be located on East Miami and Gulf River.
Good evening to you all. My name is Mark Rosenberger. I'm with
I'm sorry.
my first.
Obviously, that's not the patent food part.
It's a new concept. My name is Mark Rosenberger. I'm with Fairbacker, and we're here to present the project that Tim Helms behind me. is looking at doing right now. So just as a real quick note, if you're familiar where this is located, so this area here is the park right behind this building. That is UDF right there. Tim is proposing 56 units, condominium units there. This was approved years ago as a condominium project already. At one point in 2019, another developer was looking to develop this into a retail project. It was too costly, so it never happened. COVID happened, so forth. So right now, Tim is looking at doing this project. Tim is a resident of the area, and he has history here. He's the one who finished up Chestnut Park. And the units that you're going to see on this slide is same as Chestnut Park. So what I'd like to do is let Tim kind of introduce himself, and he can go through the list as he sees fit. So
Sure. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Tim Helm. My address is 8893 Jordan Road. So our office down there is real close to East Miami River Road. If you've driven past it before, some people call it Jeffrey's old place. So that's where we're at. That's where our office is at. We've done development for 20 years, building construction development for 20 years with brother Mike Helps and I. Our last project here in Miami Township was Chestnut Park. We built a similar product, exactly like this. 55 units in 2020, 2021, very successful there. Right now we are in Delhi Township. We're building condominiums here, more of a townhome style condominium. But right now, I own this property. My brother Mike and I, we own this property here. So our plan is to revert it back to the original plan and build condominiums. So each one of these buildings that you see here will have 8 units. So if you want, Jim, if we can get to the next slide. Okay, there's the building. So this is a slab one grade building. 8 units, 8 garages. So the 2 center garages there are actually private entrances. They will be for the front 2 units, which have patios in the front. And then the other garages are for the back 6 units. So in the back, Kim, if you want to go to the next slide. This will show the floor plan. So in the middle is 1,253 square foot unit. No steps, very desirable. The patio, oh, this is the next one. There you
I'm
go.
sorry.
That's okay. There you go. All right, so as far as the first floor, there's 3 units on the first floor. These are slab on grade. And then we'll walk out the patios. So those stairs, very desirable for this area. It's 1,253 square feet, 1,390 square feet. And then each one of those will have a garage. It's all color coded. So if you notice the green garage in front, that actually goes to that unit. So unit 101 would have that green garage at 3449. And then the purple unit 102 would be for the middle unit, and then that brown unit 103 would be on the right hand side. So if you want to go to the second floor. So with the second floor here, actually the 2 units in front are over 1,400 square feet, or at least the one on the left is 1,425 square feet. The unit on the right is 1,355 square feet. Now the stair going up to the unit is a private entrance. So whoever would purchase this unit has a garage. The garage goes directly to that unit. So they both have private entrances. The other 3 units in the back, they'll have a balcony, but you enter in the main entry door, go up a stair, and then there's 3 units up there. So those are all second level units. If you want to go to the next one, I can show you some interiors. Okay, here's one of them. So this is an end unit. This is the first floor end unit. All these pictures and designs come from Chestnut Park. This is what we built at Chestnut Park. It was very successful there. It's really going to be successful here. Back at Chestnut Park right now, the same type of building, there's hundreds of units back there. I checked this morning, there's 0 available. There's zero available. So there's a definite need for this product. So this is, it's an open concept. You can see, there's a kitchen, living area. They're all 2-bedroom, 2-bath units. Kim, if you want to go to the next one. Yeah, that's another picture of the kitchen. You can see it's an island, large island, very desirable. The cabinets, ample cabinet space, either granite countertops, everything is upgraded. So at Chestnut Park, we plan on doing this project. You had selections. You had selections. You had the ability to pick your finishes. But if we get to a point, and it's not done, we're going to finish the building and then it'll become market homes for people who are ready for move-in ready units. All right, yeah, we'll go to the next one. This is the bedroom right here. Nice bedroom, nice size. All the units are very nice size. And I don't know if there's another picture or not.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I don't think it's a great location. Like I said, we currently own the property. It's a great location. The way I envision this is the residents here, they can walk on the walking path, which is directly behind us. They can walk to UDF and get ice cream. You know, we're turning it more into a community. And it's a product, I think that it's very desirable, especially for people looking for no steps, at that size, 1,400 square feet, 1,300 square feet, no steps. And, I really like the project. All I'm asking now, right now, is because the way it's zoned for the land use now, was changed to retail or restaurant. I'm asking to change it back to what it should have been, or what it was originally. That's what I'm here tonight. Any questions? Yes, sir.
What's the price range?
That's a great question. So that's one of the reasons these units are so desirable. Our plan is for $300,000. Right now, back at Chestnut Park, units sell between $220,000 to $265,000.
And what are the condo fees?
It's a great question too. So condo fees will range depending on, but we have 56 units. More than likely, the condo fees will be around in the 200s. So between $200 and $300.
Traffic coming out on the Richtown Road, actually.
Yep. So one of the things I would suggest or would want to try to do is potentially do a turn lane.
Real quick, the, ODOT, we're gonna have to get a permit with ODOT. We're gonna have to do a traffic impact study. We have to do that because they got renewal threshold. We don't have up-to-date number counts. No one nearby and be able to use this number count to figure it out. But Tim is at Mashpee, he's looking to do some improvement there. And it's valid to do an improvement.
See, I just wondered how that was going to come into play at the end of the roundabout up there.
It won't, but it's going to help. I guess if you want to put it that way. But yeah, once you get over a threshold of units, guys, you have to traffic. He's going to be obligated to do what ODOT tells him.
Yes, sir.
Wasn't there some issue about that last building? Something with that when there was when you think about doing retail there? Was that different project?
I have no idea.
You know, what I'm talking about? Yeah, that wasn't this, but there was some people before that, and I mean, yeah. But was there an issue with that back lot, that back part right here or something? I don't think so. What is your, what's your time frame to get approval? I mean, you gotta do the whole project, or you gotta do stages, or?
The way, I mean, first thing you're ready to do is you're ready to do a boundary footprint survey. And it's going to be a VOLTA survey, because you're going to check all the zoning issues, any kind of entitlement issues that make some. So we doing that. But with the way the thing's set up right now, it's zone EE for retail. It gets rezoned to DD. That's at least a 6-month process. Just entitlement alone. And we got to go through the whole gamut, and it is what it is. So, but yes, so but you know, he wants to get some reassurance from the locals here that, you know, feels good about doing this. I mean, right now, I think it's, you know, nothing's going on.
How about the sewage?
Currently,
Because when
there
they
is-
did Harrison Avenue, you know, they did all that for that big development.
Yeah, so currently there is there's an easement through the township property through here and the sewer. and it'll be pumped from a pump station there. That's what's gonna happen.
So they won't have to build bigger pipes than that for the sewage system itself.
Yeah, we already have obtained a availability sewer from MSD for this project.
Is this something that'll help us get the money for our road down here? Or is it not? Because if we get all this done, then all of a sudden that project's going to jump on them.
Yes, I think, Tim, we're gonna want to talk to the township a little bit more about how that's working with what improvements he does there.
And typically, this would come before the land use committee, but we're kind of in a transition and trying to revamp that as well as look at our overall comprehensive 5-year plan. They're looking for some guidance now, before doing that, because obviously, they want to get going, so that's when you could, correct me with, but we met with, Jim and I met with, Tim and trying to talk through this a little bit, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of due process still to go through here. It's quite a bit.
Then just with approvals, I'm looking to start this project as soon as I can. As long as everybody approves it, and we follow the right channels, I think, as fast as I can do it, I'm ready to do it. I think it's an exciting project, really.
It has been sitting there for quite some time, and again, as has been pointed out a little bit earlier too, we've had a couple buyers and, start and stop and stall. And so,
I'm excited to get back to my window. Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
You want to pause it for a minute and address the zoning issue? We'll address it short, so any issue you want to go into this? Let's do that. So it's pressure and everything's behind. All right, we're still in session. So discussion from the board. Work is.
no,
Well, the zoning back.
correct. So, yeah, we just want to make it abundantly clear that that's what it was originally, that, so this is not inconsistent with the overall plan and outlook that it was in the past. And this is simply just changing it back to what it was. And so I think it's a reasonable approach.
Correct, to our 5-year plan that we have from Paul was here and Jack was here. Do you have any discussions? All right. All right, we got a motion.
And do we have the language of what need to,
We simply need a motion to support the amendment to the land use plan from
Change it back, put it in here.
Yeah, so you're gonna do a conditional revision. We're gonna do a conditional revision to the land use plan to revert back to the DD district.
I have it here, but what is it currently?
It's double.
Okay, so would be the motion would be to change the land use plan from E back to DD.
What do you think?
D as in dog. D as in dog, D as in dog.
so I'll make a motion that we set a conditional. Mark, you said a conditional review.
It will be, you're recommending approval for
Conditional revision, so.
Yes.
So I'll make a motion that we change the zoning from EE back to DD, and a conditional revision to that property in the line as was presented today. I will second.
Mr. Allred?
Yes.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Brent, you're going to contact someone down there?
I have the information. I was told if I send this to them first thing in the morning, they will put it on their agenda for their next meeting.
So what happens is then the county planning commission will approve that, and then that update is official.
And again, we'll still work with the land use committee and, look on specifics and all those particulars. So it's not, but essentially gives you the direction you're.
All right, any other questions from anyone before we move on? Move along with Baron Becker again, the presentation now, we'll do the presentation on Pat package generator and the report.
Thank you, Mr. Blanford. Well, you're here. As Mr. Brett alluded to in his administrative report, we've had some recent meetings on this, and we're ready to go ahead and finish this thing up. We've started on this about a year and a half ago, and this for some unforeseen conditions and things that came up. It's where we're at right now. So but right now, as a few meetings ago, the park, we were always calling Buffalo Ridge Park, but as you can see right now, be the Pat Bag and June Renninger Memorial Park. This is the current title page of the plan and all. So what I'd like to do is just go briefly through all the sheets that are important, not the detail, not the in the weeds stuff, and that, but basically eye candy, if you want to call it. So if you could go to the next sheet. So this site is located, this is Buffalo Ridge, this is East Mine River Road, this is Powell Street. Buffalo Ridge and East Mine River Road are county roads, and then it's a township street. So currently what we have proposed is a parking facility here, and a walking path sidewalk here, and a sidewalk that goes around would be the playground area. Currently we're proposing to put a walk to here, because the majority of the kids will be coming from this way. The county does have, I guess, on the radar, the improvement of East Mine River Road. I don't know, Jim, if you got any indication of how the rest. I don't know.
He would not commit to a date, but, they're planning on East Miami River Road being done in two phases, one from the Cleves Village line to the new firehouse, and then from the firehouse to Harrison Avenue. So, north of the firehouse is going to be a little further out, but they are hoping that the southern part where we're at will be sometime sooner.
Okay. So with that, there is an entrance off of this, off of Buffalo Ridge, which we're going to remove. And you can be fine with that. You no longer have that condition. They're always in favor of that kind of thing. So let me go to the next slide, please. So this is a little bit more into the nuts and bolts, and we're not going to get into the details of all this equipment. It looks busy, but it's not too busy. There's certain, by the way, Heather Winehouse, the landscape architect, that she's come up with a lot of this design ideas and deal and things put in this sort of thing. So this is an isometric view of the fencing that will go around the site. It'll be a black metal fence to keep the little guys inside. They won't be able to get outside without, there's a gate located here on East Mine River Road. But I know it's hard for you to see because it's kind of fuzzy in that. But right now, the way that it's designed is you get a certain, correct me if I'm wrong, you get a certain piece of equipment, you gotta have a certain radius around it. And that's what these ducts point. That's what these little circles represent. So it makes it look busy, but it's not. That's an area of influence for that piece of equipment. So that's what is proposed right there. If you want to go to the next sheet. And these are just some of the pictorials of some of the equipment that will be there. There'll be swings. This will be handicap accessible. So there'll be some equipment there for handicap accessibility. Heather, can you talk just real quick on that? Heather? We had the swing here. Is that a handicap swing there, or?
So the picture on the far left is the 3 bays of swings.
Okay.
And then within each of the bays will be 2 swings. One of them will be, that's like called a molded bucket seat. So it's like inclusive of ADA seat. And then the next one over is a friendship swing where 2 people would swing at the same time. And then 2 regular belt swings and then 1 toddler seat. So we get the source of 3 bays. And then top picture is pretty small, but you know, when you go to a park and there's like one main structure and there's a bunch of things that come into it. We can hold a good picture of all of the things that kind of broken up in the top right. is what's in the biggest structure. So there's like a climbing net, this net, a double slide, comes out of it, a boogie board, it's just like, kind of middle picture where they're surfing. And then there's like a, can't see what it's called, but it's like a pod.
Yeah.
Disc walkers, and then built into that, there's panels where you can, you know, there's like sign language panel or tactile sensory boards. The microphone.
Great, thank you. Go to the next slide, please. It's just some of the other details for the park itself. If you go to the next, please. And also, there will be a pavilion that's proposed here. So then there's details shown on that sheet there. If we go to the next slide, please. And then just some more details. This is a mound that will be constructed where the kids come on and they roll off and set it all. And then we also have a grill mechanism in there. And then, of course, the around the walking path will be benches. This side here, receptacles, and of course we have 4 picnic benches proposed here also, along with some more details of the other thing. This item here will be located in the middle of the park where parents can get to their kids immediately fast because it's a curved seating area. And then if they gotta go jump to run for them, for whatever reason, that's gonna be like a focal point for parents to be able to sit there. So if you wanna go to the next.
I think that's it.
That's it, okay. Can you go back to, keep on going, keep on going. One more, I'll go back, go the other way. One more. One more. Well, I had that other slide with that the synthetic turf. So I'll just talk about it. If you want to go back to, keep on going back to you and release the other way. Yeah, so right here, so that is right. You can see in this isometric view here, there's synthetic turf proposed on it. And it's porous material will drain. And that's a safety course, and it also helps that guy back there because it eliminates a lot of the maintenance. So that's what's proposed on here. And then the colors, we will have a final determination on the colors. We talked about it in one of our last meetings. We're still going to keep the color of the blue emblem at the remaining township. It's part of this also. So this part will have the same somewhat themes of Miami Township West Park with the blue and all that. And on the corner, there will be a monument sign here. That's proposed. We also have a directional sign on Cal for the people driving the parking. So if I miss anything, that's big time.
Maybe just explain that, the future, where you're seeing the gravel.
Yeah, so right now, there's a hillside right here. That'll be a future area, but as part of this project, we're gonna build it, we're gonna grass this area. And the kids, they can roll down it, they can have some fun, but we also plan on putting additional pieces of equipment for kids to play on. Right, bring it in, Jim or Dan. You can leave that for you. Okay. Does anybody have questions on it?
Anybody have any questions? Yes, sir. Is there gonna be restrooms there?
There will not be restrooms.
It's an important question.
That's a valid question.
Probably to, put it out like we did have a such a especially. So, that.
The structure is like in the top corner, it's like right in the middle of the top, that looks like a structure, is that?
Here?
Yeah.
That's the sign. That's identity sign.
On your picture next to it, see the white structure right in the middle, it's top roll, the top picture between the trees comes down.
That white building, is it a house? Looks like a white house.
That's a house. That's the house next door.
That's pretty nice. It's like a, no, it's.
When you look at the valves back there later.
Yes.
When are you looking to develop?
We're looking to try to get one here this year. If I can see it.
Yes, it's, to the right of your desk.
Oh, okay.
So it was not included in your original packet, but,
All right, do we have any other questions from the public? And last discussion from the board.
Yes, so what are you proposing that we're acting on, tonight? Because we have not, is this considered public input? Yeah, tonight. I mean, I don't know. I think that with some of these type of community projects, I still think that we could do a little better job of reaching out and trying to get input from the public, and instead of just having it at one of our meetings, advertise it, let people know, sort of a town hall, that we're looking for input, and I think that posting a meeting where we're actively soliciting feedback from the public on not only this, but all the other projects that we're looking at, is a good approach. I have folks that said, I find out how things happen, and I think that, yes, we have an okay, we don't care, but I think if everybody knew that we're spending hundreds of thousands, if not millions, on some of these projects, that we could really use the voice of the public and the public make those decisions. So I know that Dr. Roth has brought that up when we met with the school board, when I met with the school board, and some of the community leaders have mentioned that that was a good idea.
We've got, you got any? All right, just so everyone's aware, we've had this project in works for over 5 years now. 5 years ago, the township purchased the 2 lots on the corner, which was East Miami and Buffalo Ridge. When we purchased them, and then the firehouse that Mr. Beck started working on was in the works. And this park is a replacement of the park that was behind the firehouse up there. And I know a lot of people are familiar with it in here, but if you're not, it was a small playground. It wasn't much, but at least it was somewhere for these kids to go that live out in that area to go to. We made a commitment when I say we, the prior board, Mr. Rager, Mr. Beck, and myself, we made a commitment to the residents out there that are part of the township and the kids out there that we would build the park back, whether it be at the firehouse or another location in the vicinity. Well, when we started developing the firehouse, there wasn't enough room to put the park on the grounds of the firehouse. That's how we came to these 2 lots, bought these, well, through a total of 3 lots. And then we made a commitment to the residents and kids to put that park back out there. So this isn't like a spur of the moment thing. This has been in the works for at least 5 years, would you say, Paul?
Yes.
At least 5 years, so.
And I would, sorry.
But I don't see anything that,
Didn't we also get grant money to build that park as well?
we did. I've got great money from planning and development of $50,000 to put into this park. And that's a big reason we had to be ADA compliance with a lot of stuff. And the turf makes it accessible in the rain. When kids come in there that are handicapped, they can still come in there and have easy accessibility to that park. So that was our overall main goal when we started this park. So, Jim, anything else?
To clarify, I've said on the record in public meetings here that I'm supportive of the park, that I think we need to keep a commitment. In bringing up for public input is that now we have renderings and drawings that say, this much and this many playgrounds, and we have something to visualize. And so I've said many times that I support the park again, we said we would do it, we should do it. It's as far as, it's not public input as to whether we should do the park. It's what, what do we want? What, do we want swings? Do we want, whatever else? I also think that, I think that there was a little bit of oversight, previously, because we actually never voted on renaming the park, and I fully support that, and I think that this board will, but, we never actually did that, and so if we're going to do something on this and do a resolution, I think we need to correct that oversight, so I'd be more than honored to make a motion that we name it the Pat Deck and Jurado Memorial Park, because this board really never took a vote on that.
Okay. So the record can be straight. We did have public input on this. We've had public input probably 3 times over the last 3 or 4 years of the committee. And I headed up with, Mark Rosenberg and Baron Becker when we started planning this park. And they were made up of residents of Miami Township. You weren't hearing that when that happened. So that's how that took place. So as far as naming, Pat Beck and Jim Renniker Park, it's part of the plans. I don't see why we have to single that out. That's the name of the park. We can approve it. I don't think it's an oversight at all.
Well, it was just announced.
I'm doing, do you read that? 2024, oh, fortune.
Yeah.
All right, we have resolution 2020-04, resolution authorizing the township administrator to advertise for request for proposals. This is not it.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say for advertising proposals for Pat Beck and June Renniker Park, that's located in East Miami River Road and Buffalo Ridge and Corner. And I will ask for a motion to,
Second, if we're going to, are we going to vote on my motion to make sure that we're
it's part of part of the names or I don't know why. That's what you feel the need to do that. Let's pass this resolution if we pass it, and then you can address that.
So I support the resolution of giving the administrator the approval to put it out for bid. Still think I can't just say, you know what, today West Park is now the Joe Sykes or the Johnny Bench, but I just think we need to make sure that this board has done that. It's just proper protocol. But anyway, go ahead.
So we gotta set this. I will send.
Mr. Bullrich,
Yes.
Mr. Blanton,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
All right. I don't see the need for the future. The need to go ahead and make a motion.
I will make a motion that we officially name the park the Pat Beck and Jim Renniker Field Park.
And I will second that.
All right. Mr. Bullrich, Mr. Blanton,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
We're going to go. Yeah. All right, so, okay, we'll move on to, departments. Senior Center, Ms. Harper. Or Chairman, you can discuss.
I think we have the fire department.
Karen, hang on just a second.
Excuse me. Assistant Chief Street, had a family event to attend this evening, and sadly, this was probably going to be the last chance to do this, unless the new chief is not in town. So, I'll start with his, run total for the month of February. We had 7 fire runs in Miami Township, 2 in Addison, 5 in Cleves, none in North Bend. Had a request for mutual aid 19 times and were canceled en route 11 times. EMS runs were 74 in the township, 36 in Addison, 27 in Cleves, 11 in North Bend. Mutual aid was received once and given 8 times. So, that's pretty much his breakdown on the run totals for the month. A couple other items he wanted me to mention. The annual fit test for the entire department has been done. That's the test where they fit the respirator to the individual firefighter, and it's measured by an instrument to ensure that those are very good working order. Sad note, the fire department funeral detail attended the funeral of former Assistant Chief Paul Court. Paul was the assistant here during the 70s through the 90s. He was an assistant chief when we were all volunteering here, and served under Chief Edward Bishop at that time. After leaving the fire department, Paul actually went to work for the township at Maple Grove as a part-time employee. So that was a little sad thing that they had. The one thing someone asked, I believe, last month was where we were at with fire hydrants. Right now, he believes we're down to 20 hydrants that are out of service, 5 in Addison, 3 in District 68, 6 in District 69, 5 in the Cleves area, and 1 in North Bend. So that's the update from Assistant Chief Street, and he sends his regrets for not being able to be here this evening.
All right, any questions on the administrator's report for the fire department? All right, we'll move along. Senior Center, Mrs. Hubbard.
Events at the senior center. February 6th, we did a chili program where a representative from the Cincinnati Museum Center came out and told us about the history of Cincinnati style chili. And then afterwards, of course, we dedicate our skyline. So very nice. February 8th was our first tax day. ARP comes twice to do taxes for our members, and it's done here at the event center. So, Carrie, thank you for setting up and take down for that event. Appreciate that. The second day was a couple of weeks for last week. Was the second day. February 15th, coffee with friends is something new we're doing. Members can come enjoy a cup of coffee and a pastry. A member, Charlie Runtz, he comes and entertains us with music. He's got his guitar, he sings, and he's very entertaining. February 22nd, we had a van outing, we had a tour at City Hall, which is beautiful. If you've ever been to City Hall, it's a beautiful building. So we got to sit in the council chambers, and it was fun. And that was the first outing that we used the cast bus. And it was fantastic. So we had twice as many, remember Gail, we had 16. So that worked out really great. Now next month, we're taking a tour of Voice of America. So hoping yes, can I was there as well. So worked out very well. Let's see, end of April is coming quick. We have a trip to Williamsburg. We have 30 people coming. We have spots still available for that trip. Should be fun. All the tickets that we have for the 3 Reds games that we have scheduled, they're all sold out. A couple of weeks ago, was from heavy rain, we had flooding and all the bathrooms, the kitchen, from the center and the library. So there was a fog and the clean out. So it was a mess. And Ronnie, my God, he worked hours to try to get that figured out. And so we're good now, and I think he'll be talking more about that. Yeah, that was not fun. Something that I feel on the report, we had a designated area now at the center, and we had talked about it a couple months ago, where we have a computer and printer set up for the seniors, access to that, which we needed. We need a form printed off, the manual, everything's done on computers nowadays. So, yeah, so that's accessible to them if they need it. It might help I like that. So thank you, Mike, for getting that set up for me. End of March is the end of our membership year. We have 336 members. We had a lot of new members sign up this year. We had that number, but I know, yeah, right, Megan, we had a lot of new members come in and sign up, which is great. And then we have all of our normal activities, you know, the trivia, exercise crafts, all of our normal activities monthly. What do?
All right, any questions for Mr. Superintendent? Right, any from the board? And I guess, so the senior, I guess a seminar for senior fraud, I saw
Oh, yeah.
digital sign,
Yeah.
which is a wonderful idea. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, Yeah, that's April 2nd at 10 o'clock. And somebody from Hamilton County, Matt Brew. I gotta write this down. He's gonna come and give a talk about elder fraud.
And it's free?
It's free. It's open to everybody, and because it's, you know, serious thing. I mean, these scammers are good. So they'll help, you know, give us, you know, the signs or, you know, questions to ask if you are worried if it's some legit or not, but I don't need
What time do you-
10 o'clock.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
And then, in talking to, thanks, Karen, Ms. Day and others, I mean, folks have called up here recently, that are seniors that are dealing with fraud and scam, and so this is not some hypothetical out there, this is right here on the page, so.
All right, maintenance department, Mr. Miller?
I talked about it earlier. I asked on. How's everybody? Two things, the two mowers are in. So good time of the year for it to get them in. Grass is growing. But we need to discuss what we're gonna do with buildings.
On the agenda for later.
Are we putting them, yeah, so we get rid of them, old mowers?
Yeah.
So we put them on the website or we trade them?
Their choice, but my recommendation is we give them the trade-in.
We did get the tank in, so transport the fuel from firehouse to fuel tank down there so we can get the fuel out of the firehouse. It wasn't supposed to go in there. Right now, we're working on cemetery, getting it all back in order. All the graves we had to take care of over the winter, now dirt, seed, straw, foundations are being poured. Getting that all done. Three-wheeler is due this month or next month, April. So the other three-wheeler will be delivered up here. We need to get ways to get that three-wheeler in and out of that shed. We have no key or anything for that shed. Maintenance doesn't. So we need to get it when we're up here, we can get access to it.
We can do that. We can do that.
I don't get it up.
We can do
Go back.
it. I'll call Andy. We can do it.
I know, that's what I was asking. He's, there's a new shirt on.
Yeah, there's a new show.
I'll ask you.
Yeah, there's actually Andy Ron.
These are parts. That's coming in.
No, it's not a problem.
I'm sorry, Stan. I said, Mr. Brett, we met with the road. The road guys too. We're supposed to be getting some pricing on and suggestions on our roads. What we do need to get some blacktop numbers in here.
Right.
Because we need to do some, yeah, we need to do some depth. So there's supposed to be.
Yeah. Trying to get the best of the work with Strasser. I'm not trying to take his credit. So
We gotta get the list.
Well, they're supposed to send us some contacts.
Right. Oh, okay.
We're gonna use some local guys here, but. Pray that we manage it.
Yeah. Well, it's-
And thanks to Megan for helping out with maintenance. She stepped up above and beyond. She's helping out a lot in the maintenance department. More than probably what she's supposed to be doing, so it's very appreciated. That's kind of what I.
Any questions from Mr. Miller?
So none of our staff have the key to the shed here?
the new shed out there, as far as I know, there's no key to this.
It's a new shed.
To turn over.
So I'll make sure. I'll make
We don't have a machine up there yet anyway. There's no reason for us to do that.
right.
Once the machine comes in. It's not a big problem, get a key, but I just thought, hey, it wasn't actually a key.
But if Ron's not gonna take a bow for the work that he did over the weekend down at the, senior center.
It's not done yet, that's.
Well, yeah, we're not done, but, he and, who all was here at that point?
As Tri-State Liquid Waste showed up, I had a couple of people come in and give me ideals. But it was all in the plans, and plans weren't going by what we were reading.
The plans are close to what's there, but not really what's there, but they did a great job and, I worked all weekend on that, so, thank you to you and everybody that you brought in.
I think these two gentlemen were waiting for me to say something about the water level, but you did talk about it earlier, so. I think they came in after that.
Yeah, they used to keep it to the end, but now they moved it to the beginning.
They announced a little bit what they were gonna do, so you might want to address that.
I'll talk with you.
Thank you. All right, safety, Mr. Hughes.
I did get one. We changed the law.
I don't know. Should have a copy, the other should have a copy of the police report. We had no BWC claim for the special order of the year. Excellent. We did have, one incident with Medic 69. This is damage. He was back into the station 69. You might have pictures there, but the testimony to it. Building, very, very minor. We bumped that out, so it looks fine. With the replacement of these squads, we're looking at in the future. I don't know. It's cosmetic. Our chief, and you can see we'll lay down and put that on his plate right away. And again, this is due to, no backer. We have an SOG policy that says if you're backing in a unit, it's supposed to have a spotter. It wasn't done, so there's some. We're working to maintain it out because it is sensitive. Give them out. I attended the Hamilton Safety Meeting on, 3/6, and it was an excellent, excellent training. They talked about rechargeable batteries and the dangers of rechargeable batteries. I encourage everybody here, if you get a chance to go on, YouTube and look at some of the incidents with rechargeable batteries and how fast when they propagate, they absolutely, there's no stopping the explosion or the fire that occurs. You can be there with all the fire equipment in the world. When that battery explodes, there's nothing you can do. So, that's something I'm gonna probably implement here in the future, is how we handle our rechargeable batteries. And what is the maintenance records on those? It's pretty important. Let's see, are we going to Hamilton, the Ohio, Safety Congress next Thursday? Look forward to that. I think, it's gonna be a long day, but, I've learned a lot about safety and the new processes out there for safety and new programs that could be available for our people too. So I'll be looking at that along with, Street and, Karen's promotion. Today I attended another meeting in Hamilton, and the meeting was on the new, if you remember, a year ago, we voted on issue 2 for what? Marijuana renewal. Well, this was, a training, and I'm talking about the new marijuana law and how it affects employers. And, a lot of good information exchanged, but boils down to that the employer has the right to drug test people. And if they they fail the test, they have the right to do whatever the policy states. You know, right now you can use marijuana, but you can't buy it. If you get somewhere else, road or whatever, but they're not selling it. And I'm talking about for general, I'm not talking about recreation. I'm not talking about medical.
Recreation.
Yes. So there's more coming out to that. And during that session, I, talked to representatives from workers' comp. And, there's some, programs out there that we can get close to $10,000 annually. And that includes having an attorney review our drug use policy annually. We get $2,000 for that, just there, and when you look at it and say it looks good. There's $5,000 for employee training that would give our supervisors more in-depth training to recognize when they suspect someone using drugs. While working. That's also a possibility. And then, they have a recovery, they call it second chance recovery, and that's $1,500. We're doing that now. So there's some money out there that I think we gotta go in. Jim had a big smile when I told him that. He said, "Oh, yeah, heck yeah." But, there's new guidelines also that, I want to talk to the board about, Center for Disease Control come out. I'm assuming you may know that, but they talked about, the new guidance. And it's kind of like the flu. You're 24 hours free of fever and you're not taking any medication. You don't have to wait 5 days to come back to work. They're saying that, and they're recommending that when somebody does come back to work, and they've had COVID and they're fever free for 24 hours with medications, then they should rest. It might not be a bad idea. Just as an addition. Jim and I talked about it. And it's still here, COVID's still here, people are still dying. But, people are still dying from influenza. Also, so that's something that you guys are consider really sort of met with Jim concerning the audit for the tower, and we feel we're in pretty good shape here. With what they, the recommending that they said for their audit, we're doing a lot of that now. So I would really appreciate talk about it.
I think we're in good shape, and they've made some changes before I got here to try to address some of these things. I think we're in good shape with them, and it's good that they come out and provide that service. So I think we're good. Yeah, there.
And speaking of, we're still working, we still have the grants that we're doing at the party for this. There's some grant money there that we're also secure. One thing I do want to say that, with warm weather coming, it's not a bad idea. We should get back into our policy of checking part of the equipment weekly, see if there's any damage. Because it gets a lot of use. Which one exactly? He's talking about the visual playground. Oh, the playground stuff? Yeah, looking at the equipment and making sure you document it. Stuff that needs fixed. Yes. And if you find any damage, you get a hold of Ronnie.
Is that the policy? Because that's normally my policy. When I see something, I just don't.
Yeah, that's right. That's fine.
Is that the policy?
It from May to September, they are reviewing once a week.
Yeah, no, I look at that, I'm saying, the policy is when I find something, is to just document it, text to Ronnie.
But hey, you still have, whether you find something or not, you have to document it. Okay. That you did the inspection.
Okay.
Now, if you don't have a form,
I've got one too.
we'll put something together for you.
So, It's a good policy.
But yeah, letting Ronnie know directly. Since it's-
Be about
What about
specifically
this
for
one? This one should be checked too.
Yeah, I'd like to walk that because the benches out there are pretty rough. And, so I don't know, maybe the three of us could walk that sometime too and take a look and some pretty.
So that structure is gonna be replaced.
Yes.
So,
What do you want to do? Walk and what?
Walking back and check it, the play set and the benches that are in there.
Go out here? Okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, people really don't realize, I mean, it's our parks are beautiful. Oh, yeah, even this one here is tremendous. It's fantastic that we're able to provide that for the residents, and we want them to have a good time. And to be safe. The last thing I have is this is from Karen, we do not sell Eclipse glasses at the senior. We're not gonna get into it. Ronnie said, why not? You can get them online, you can get them pretty well anywhere right now. But if you look at the times, I jotted this down. For Hamilton would be in total eclipse. And city of Hamilton, that's gonna last a minute 42 seconds.
What if I have a funeral that day?
Don't look at the sun.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Glad you formed that one.
Huh?
Glad you told me.
Yeah, don't look at the sun. I mean, you would look at the sun.
Get a paper.
But, so we're getting a 99% eclipse. We're still gonna be at the area. So if you're out there, please make sure you're out protected because you don't want to burn the side of your eye. The nerve, that's really dangerous. Like you said, it's a summer. All right, any questions for Mr. Hughes? All right, Jim, thank you. All right, facilities, Mr. Herbert, Reynolds.
Good evening, Carrie Roberts, event manager. I don't want my glasses again. In February, we had 17 total events. 16 of them happened at the community center, lower level. One of them was in town hall. For 2025, right now, we have 26 rentals booked. And I signed 6 contracts today. 2 of them were for 2025, so that upped it a little bit. Mr. Brett discussed the parking lot lights, which are still definitely an issue. Ronnie and staff fixed a toilet in the community center restroom. It seems like the toilets are having the same issue and Ronnie just keeps getting them, like as it breaks, he gets them fixed the proper way. So thank you, Ronnie. We had the windows cleaned in the community center, the administrative office, and over in the firehouse, everything except the fire bay doors. And I think that my kids would have done a better job than this company did the first time. So we called them and asked for a redo the proper way. And they sent a new team of guys who did a phenomenal job. So the windows finally do look very nice. Held an open house on February 20th. 14 guests attended. I signed 2 contracts that night. My next open house will be April 16th from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. This Saturday, March 23rd, from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock is our Easter extravaganza. There will be an Easter egg hunt. 3 different age groups of kids can hunt for eggs behind the community center. The Easter Bunny will be here. I hear Miss Oser knows the Easter Bunny very well. So the Easter Bunny will be here. You can take pictures. There will be Cincinnati Circus will be here with stilt walkers and jugglers. It'll be a great day for the kids. Shred Day and Drug Take Back Day is April 27th. And in the next 3 weeks, we have our first 2 park rentals. So we can just make sure the shelter is ready to go and garbage is empty. That would be great. And I think that's all for me tonight.
Carrie, what's the age group for the kids?
1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 10.
Right, any questions, Mrs. Roberts?
Yes.
I can just say like the drug take back and the shred day, do they ever mention the recycling day? They used to be like an electronics recycling. Through the same people, it would all be the same. Oh, I just wanted to mention that.
No, I can definitely call them.
Yeah,
See.
see if they do it. People that have old models printers and computers and things like that, and the township, we will also enter into that program, so. This one.
Absolutely. I'll call tomorrow and ask, and but that made me think of one other thing, I don't know why, but, Ronnie, when he was talking about his lawnmowers, it made me think about the piano downstairs. We have just a piano that does not work sitting downstairs, so I'd like to do the same thing that we're doing with the lawnmowers with the piano. Just collecting dust. There's a cover on it that says do not touch. I think it was donated from what I understand here or something, but we don't let people play it. It's out of tune. So it's really just taking up space. So,
Cindy,
We can talk.
no, it's two at town hall.
Right,
There's two at town hall and one downstairs.
Yeah, there's a church down the street that was just freehand for other purposes. Maybe they could use it, you know. If you're interested, see me after the meeting.
All right,
It just needs to adjourn.
Clark, Mr. Clark. Good afternoon, everyone. We have a few things, obviously baseball is underway, as well as softball. There's about 33 teams, between baseball and softball that will be using the park. Taylor, has also had a couple scrimmage games already. So they've done a good job taking care of the fields. I'd like an update on, the tennis surface. Do you have that? We approved the last meeting, but to, move forward with repairs, and Mr. Barack is coordinating with the company and supposed to be in May or June.
And I have talked with the athletic director down at Three Rivers, and they're aware of it. So.
Okay, yeah.
And you and I need to talk sometime this week anyway, just to catch up on stuff like that.
Perfect. The schedule should be done in about 2 weeks. I'm waiting on, softball schedule to be filled in, and then I have to fill in the last of the coaches pitch games. And then the schedule will be up and running. It's also, an interactive schedule, so will be updated. As I updated, you'll be able to see that. Do I need to send that to? That's what I figured. Other than that, I don't have anything else. All right, any questions? Yes.
get the diamond reduced?
No, are you talking about out here?
Yeah.
So, no, I did look at that, and it is still, it's a little oblong.
Okay.
So it does need to be reduced. I don't think that's gonna be something we're gonna ever do this year, but like after the season, we definitely need to at least talk about that.
Did the banner come in? You got the banner order? Like a backing or something, balls?
Yeah.
That come in?
that's for the batting cages.
All the batting cages, that is not coming in, yeah, it's coming in the middle of the. Yes, that's going to do it. Ronnie, do you have something?
The dimensions of the small field down in West Point. What is the fences on it?
What's the,
Baseball fence?
well, it's 120, it's 122 down the line, 138. Are you talking about the infield? Yeah, the fence is 122 down the line, and it's like 120, I think it's 127 in the gaps.
Okay, so what's 160 get us that for kids can play? You do a fence, is that a?
For 160?
Or something?
So 160, I believe, would be 12, I think it would be 12U for boys, 10U, 11U for boys maybe, and then probably 13 or 14 for softball.
So it'd be used if we get for 160.
Yes. Are you talking about right here? Yeah, I was gonna ask, I was gonna talk
We're
about.
looking into the other options.
Okay. I would say that would be the route to go, because that hill otherwise is gonna be, you fix the hill, it's just gonna, that's a, you're gonna be fixing it forever. Unless you put a retaining wall there that's crazy, so moving that in would probably be the best. All right, any questions for Mr. Clark? All right, Jay, thank you. Go.
Can I ask, Mr. Clark, are we doing, those banners on the outfield fence? Or do you have anything to do with that?
Normally Taylor Baseball puts those up, and normally my knowledge, there's two that are put up. It's one of the athletic associations.
Yeah, they were gonna.
Right, we got any updates, like, are they doing that, or are they putting that out to?
Andy came in
advertise
that
or
meeting
let
and said he
people-
was
I
gonna.
haven't touched base with Andy on that item. I just talked to him, I'll ask him for it. All right, go to old business, we need a form for the hiring, Madison Fire Chief. I, if the one doesn't come in, like to, make a motion to, formally, approve of hiring Matt Schuman as our fire chief.
I will second, thank trustee Loriat and Mr. Brett for their due diligence and that process.
Okay, Mr. Lauren,
Yes.
Mr. Bland,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
All right, we already addressed the mowers, so. That all we have?
Well, we have to talk about. Decide.
We just need a motion to trade them in or put them on the county website.
With the mowers?
Yeah.
No. I'll go ahead and make a motion that we go ahead and trade the mowers, and I'll second that recommendation.
Yes.
I'll second.
Mr. Lauren.
Yes.
Mr. Bland,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
All right, we'll pass the resolution concerning, Pat Beck and Joe Ritter Memorial Park. They get that put out to bid. Jim, did you want to talk about the new business?
Before we get to that, the one thing in the old business was still the, changing our website provider. We discussed that back in, I think, January. The current contract we have for 2023, cost us $4,557. This kind of came up when they asked us to spend half of what they normally charge to make our website ADA compliant. That was another $1,800. So I checked with the folks at IPAN, and by the way, if we added that $1,800 in for next year, because it was an annual charge, we'd be a little over $8,000 with them. I've worked with IPAN though, and found them to be very useful. I don't know if you got to stop by her booth or attend her class at the Ohio Township Association
We
conference.
stopped, but they're really busy.
Yeah,
So we never really got to talk to them.
so, Mr. Robinson and I, and Sissy Galbraith, who takes care of putting stuff on our website, talked with them. And after we talked with them, I got Mike Taylor to talk with, I have trouble with her name, Iona. And I sat in on the call with them, and it was like sitting in a foreign language class for me, because they were talking about platforms and different things, and they understood what they were talking about, and I think Mike was all in favor of what they had to offer. Please, I'm speaking out of turn.
And, it's much more reasonable than what we've got. They don't quite have the credentials from where we're at currently, but they're new to go into business. They work with a lot of local townships here. And the cost savings is pretty substantial over what we're currently paying. And, they aren't going to offer us the same, for the majority of the same options we have now. So I told them that I would recommend them as a business. When you're going, and the thing that they're offering that the existing one doesn't is they're going to manage it and then train it like they will update it as we give them stuff. They'll put it on there. They'll work with us on those things to make sure we have everything we want. If one is an example, Village Police just went with it, and if you look at their website, it looks fabulous. Now we have two websites. Right. For yeah, that's separate from our website. Yeah. But, great company, great cost savings.
When we did the virtual meeting, was to see you.
Yeah.
I was impressed, and I think it is a little more user friendly and so.
It's a smaller scale company, sure, you get a lot more personalized, I think attention So it just seems like a good problem to go.
We have a motion.
I think the money committee, move forward with IPANDA to the executive session for Mr. Brennan and Mr. Taylor's recommendation. We will stay in this company.
Mr. Bollray,
Yes.
Mr. Blanton,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts.
Yes.
Mr. Mooney stuff, then we'll go back to Mike, so that's good.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And then we'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Taylor, for IT.
I really have one, it's a whole business, so thank you. The one thing that did come up is the automation system for the building. We have submitted that from our vendor. I know Jim, you've got that. We were looking at taking the parking lights off, which it looks like they're moving forward with. That was going to reduce the cost of a full replacement. We had 4 different vendors come out and look at it. One of the 4 accepted to work on it, the rest of them, so we won't touch it. So we went with that vendor to get the quote. It came in at just under $16,000. But those are analog switches. They're gonna remove all the analog switches. They're gonna put in all new IP addressable digital switches. If we take the parking lot off of that, it's actually only 2 switches over there, one for the front, one for the back, so I reduced it by like $130 to take it out of the system. So I just know we need to move on that pretty soon. I don't know where you were at in your process, because that should have been old business. I'm sorry I missed last one. I thought we were going to approve that, but that's really the one big item I've got moving out there is to get movement on that.
And how much is it?
16,000, not more than 16,500, if we want to approve an amount like two. And I was gonna stick it on our agenda for the next meeting, but, if you want to do it tonight, moving forward with that,
It's kind
Yeah,
of,
we
if
need to keep going on that, right?
it goes down, then like you're gonna have to go to that closet to turn the lights on in the building, because it's not the switches for walls. These switches will work, but all the digital switches, they go back to that relay panel, will stop, but
the ones that turn the light off on you,
yeah.
We're up to how much? 16,500?
I think that would cover everything you want to do.
All right.
It'll come in less than that because we're taking stuff out of the scope of the project, because we're taking on the parking lots, because they want a manual
Okay.
process.
Is it cheaper to, I know you're saying it's taking some of the cost out, but down the road, is that maybe something we put in now that we need to switch it later?
The digital, what it is the switches that were installed were analog, and they're currently about 18 to 20 years old on the technology, so it was in the life when we installed the building. But now they're saying that these, the digital switches and like computers, the actual circuitry's got a 50-year life expectancy, so I think that's just as long as you got a manual switch, but to put manual switches in, we would have to rewire. It would take a lot more electrical work, because those are all low voltage, and they come back and they go to a controller device that breaks up the low voltage back into 120, 110. But it's not network addressable, and there's a whole lot of network details to it, but yeah, I mean, overall, it would cost us more money to go to all manual switching as opposed to the full combination. And that building automation, it does, it turns on the couplas, turns on the outside parking lights, it was no parking, it was on the building sconces, and then whatever particular lights we programmed in the building.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but when we go to the new switches, if we decide to look at a different system other than the Watt system to control everything, we'd have to have those type switches anyway, so
Yeah.
unless we upgrade those, if we upgrade those now, we can upgrade to anybody's new software. Right now, we're stuck with what we have.
And currently it's controller based, so you have to connect to the computer that's connected to the system over here. And we created our own remote into that PC that connects to the controller, but the new system is internet based. So if Carrie's at home and somebody says, hey, the lights are on, myself or anybody, we can give you credentials, you can log in and turn on any of said lights in the facility.
So we're confident this is gonna take care of our issues that we've been dealing with these last several months.
With the lights and that controller. That controller box is over in the main electrical closet, and then there's 2 panels on the wall One's the control, most of the controller guts, and the other one's the all of those analog switches that connect each one of these relays out on like. So they're going to replace all of that analog with all new digital switching.
Do we have a motion? Yeah, I'll make a motion to that for that 16,000.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Bollram?
Yes.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Well, one last thing I would like to bring up is, our contract with Spectrum is over on a contract basis over month to month. IMS and Cincinnati Bell have changed the network that we are on currently. It's a self-billing fiber ring, so we no longer required to have that secondary Spectrum connection to fall back on. So we're looking at getting rid of Spectrum 100%. But to do so, I already started canceling some circuits because I know I don't need them in the buildings. But for cable TV, we rely on that for all of our cable TV services in the township. So I'm looking at Dish Network, who does a streaming service, and Fly Optics, who is our current Alta Fiber. Actually, it's through Cincinnati Bell, who we're contracted with to give us a commercial rate. Alta Fiber right now, they don't stream, so it would be a box at every TV. That's why they look more at the Dish Network, because it's an internet-based thing. It's a business contract. They're gonna give me a quote, and then they'll be logging from each of the TVs, just like the Spectrum app you have back there. Same kind of package, and their package right now looks like it's gonna come in cheaper than we're paying Spectrum. But, that's gonna come pretty soon. I'll get their quote out there, like, so like next month, maybe we can move on that. And that will, when we get rid of that, because with Spectrum, we're using that internet and TV services. So that average bill with the backup circuit for internet and cable TV was like $229 a month. So we're going to eliminate that times 5. So then we're going to move to a cable TV package. It's going to be anywhere from $89 a month to $114 a month. So it's going to be substantial savings overall for us. So that's communication. Yeah.
Can I ask, I know we talked about activating our YouTube account previously.
Yep.
And so, again, it's been a priority of mine to try to be more transparent with our public, and we communicate more and just make sure that they're more informed. So I'd like to advocate that if we're redoing the website and everything else, that I don't know if there's any advantage to utilizing the YouTube, or if it's fine just to put it on you know, whatever link and file that we've done in the past, but I think that, you know, that this is a very, very small, minute percentage of our residents. I think that maybe we start from our January meeting that we had, and as a new board, you know, publicize and let folks know, and maybe highlight a little bit more these meetings that we've had, you know, then starting with the organizational meeting and going forward. So maybe, you know, and like I said, especially if we're kind of redoing the website, because I think
We brought that up with IPANA, and they showed us the demonstration on that.
Yeah.
So they will link that straight to our Miami Township thing, and they will help them pull the videos off our meetings that we can pull it into that format. They had some other recommendations on video formatting, so once we get on the IPANA platform, we're going to have them give us those recommendations, and we may change up how we're actually recording video, so it'll be more translucent when it goes back and forth, goes straight from the recording into the website and just be available. They'll post on that monthly basis. And then we can say, after 6 months, take off, you know, after the 7th month, January falls off, and so on and so forth.
because you and I work closely on, you know, making sure we're updating the links so that we can make sure everyone can hear.
So we've got the Google channels ready. It's available right now for posting.
Okay.
And then we didn't move on it because we're working on the website, we're going to switch over to new one. So we can definitely make that transition.
I just think with the new board, you know, maybe January 1 makes sense.
Yeah.
To go back and just
Go ahead and start posting.
Sure.
Thanks. Yep. All right, thank you. Any other questions? Any questions?
The reason why the sign out front doesn't work and
Yes.
can it be fixed?
Good question. Yes, we're waiting for our vendor to put in our new sign down at the senior center, which works great.
It does work great.
This one has a radio card in it. as opposed to like Bluetooth or a network controller, which is no longer available due to the parts or the chips that were in that radio unit. So they couldn't get it, so we have to convert that to a new Bluetooth connection, or they're gonna have to run a cable from out there into here. We have contacted the same vendor, put it outside there like 3 times, and we just have not had that guy come. So that's on me, I'll push that more to get in, as we talked about it a couple of times.
I was gonna say, I think I brought it up like last year, but it didn't work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's, well, we have back in line. So I mean, it's working, it's displaying what's supposed to, but there's just no updates on it. Right, is that what you're talking about?
It all tells, it gives you the time and the date.
Open line Township.
So while you guys haven't heard this, there was a suggestion made that if we end up and have to replace that sign, that maybe we do something like down there and turn that, make it a 2-sided sign so that everybody driving by from both ways could see it. So I'll be working with Mike and we'll be looking at maybe that as an option too. So
Okay.
that was a suggestion from Mr. Paul Beck, who, yeah, I think that was a good idea.
Okay. Go forward.
All right.
Business.
All right, our community development block grant public hearings. We had hoped to be able to get this public notice for today, but that didn't work into the inquirer's schedule to get it in the paper. So right now, as part of our April 3rd meeting at 3 p.m., we'll have our first public hearing on the options we have available for the community development block grant fund. We'll have a second hearing after we get the input from the public at that first hearing. Our second hearing will be 15 minutes prior to our regular board meeting on April 17th. And we'll just take that time to say, here's what we decided that we're going to use the fund for after listening to people. Right now, the projects that we have in mind include the new June Memorial Park. All the ADA equipment there is eligible. And we're also looking at resurfacing the walking trails to fix some of the large cracks in those and seal those. So those are 2 of the things we have right now. If anybody has any ideas or suggestions, email me or call me or come April 3rd and give us your ideas. So we don't have to do anything to approve those. I just wanted to make you aware of it. Next on the new business agenda is the Otarma insurance renewal. We talked about the difference in the deductible. We're kind of stuck with them right now. The annual premium is $90,036.50. So we would need a motion to approve that.
For the insurance renewal, do we
Yes.
have a motion for that? And then we can discuss.
I'll make a motion to discuss that.
All right, and I'll second it. We have any discussion?
Well, is this, so we Cindy or Jim, do you have any recommendations or thoughts on this? And is it pretty consistent with what we've done with that?
What we get.
It's about I believe it's about a 12% increase, which is kind of what everybody's seeing across the board.
We
So
get money back, grants money, I mean,
I think we're eligible for up to $3,000 in grant money back this year. $1,000 for police,
safety.
$1,000 for fire, and $1,000 for
We get money back
General.
from all the tests we do. You know, driving test and the drug, so I know it's not a lot, but we do get, that's the most, then we get money back during the year.
We'll have we've got some new fire equipment coming in, so as those units come on and we take older units off, we'll have a small increase with those. But overall, it seems like a fair price to me.
We did talk about next year, re-looking.
Yeah, we've got to get some things straightened out, right? So legally, once we have that, then we can go out and look at other places. Nobody's gonna want to take those on right now, unless we want to self-insure those.
All right, we got a motion, then I'll make that. Joe, we got a second.
You know, you
Right.
said,
Okay. Mr. Valrian?
Yes.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Brett?
So, the, Hamilton County sent us the estimate for the stormwater fees for 2025. Those are fees that are actually, billed to each individual property owner. I don't know what last year was because I couldn't find that file. But,
I have it, I can send it to you, but it's just, it's a formality.
yeah,
Approving this.
yeah, so we just need to approve that, which is by motion.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve the, stormwater estimate fee for 2025? I'll make that motion. All right, I'll second it. Any discussion? All right, no discussion from the board.
Okay, Mr. Volrick?
Yes.
Mr. Bland?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Brett?
Finally, the, community center parking lot lights, the bid from Brennan Electric was, the lowest and best. That's, them putting new, light fixtures on our poles that are existing. There'll be LED lights and they'll be controlled by photocells. Like I said, we're gonna attack that new technology so that we make sure our lights stay on. So, Mike?
Did you address the lighting of the stairs going down before we looked at that? Or we put additional lighting?
We did. We're gonna put 2 additional lights in, one on each side. And that'll come out of existing, electric location. What he's talking about is, unless you've been to the back of the building at night, but the stairwells were going down, were fairly dark. And, we thought the areas needed a little more light. We're adding 2 new lights there.
All right, anything else?
So we just need a motion to approve that.
Make a motion that we approve the, contract, the bid from Brennan Electric. Second.
And what was that total?
Stuck to the page in front of it and didn't print. It was around $6,800, so I would say not to exceed 7,000.
And to amend my motion. I make a motion that we approve a maximum of 7,000 for the contract through Brennan Electric, which is deemed to be the lowest and best. Bid that we- One second.
All right. Mr. Volrick?
Yes.
Mr. Bland?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
That's all I have.
All right, public comments, if you'd like to come up and address the board, just come up, state your name and address and your business that you'd like to discuss. Mr. Warren?
Hi, I'm Barry Moreline, 5612 John Run Road. The, main thing I wanted to find out that our garbage left at,
Yes.
okay. So that goes into effect when it,
All right.
We'll get the money now. I mean, not now, but that'll go back. So we will receive that. Well, we already were, but that's effectively, that would be just like us approving the levy back in November. Interesting.
and the other thing was, as far as this is just my personal opinion, the park down there, I think we need to move forward with that. I think they've talked about that for quite a few years. I think that'll be a great asset for the kids. The longer we wait, price is gonna go up. We all know that with the roundabout, but you're gonna see it in any construction that you do around here is gonna escalate. So I think we'll move forward. That's just my opinion.
Are you talking about these June breaker and stuff that
Yeah.
we are?
That's what
So
I'm saying.
we're
Let's
putting
do
out
it.
the bid.
That's my input. I feel we should move forward.
Dan, they are, the kids out there now are the shelter behind the new firehouse. That's where they're playing. Yeah, so we're starting. I know, so I'm just saying, that's where we're starting working. If I'm, Jim, correct me if I'm wrong, but we get this put out to bid, we're talking about, breaking ground maybe by the end of May and have it completed by July or somewhere in there.
Actually, no, the final seating is probably gonna be the end of September. No, right now, they
Give or take a month.
all the playground equipment that you saw is available through a state purchasing program. So we'll receive a discount on that, and we will actually buy that equipment. And then the contractor will just get everything ready. The playground equipment people will come in, put that in. That should be here the second week of August.
Give
So,
or take by the end of summer, before the end of summer, we should have it.
yeah, we should be able to have a nice little ribbon cutting down there while it's still.
We will.
So we're putting it out for bid, but we don't know the overall cost, right? Is that?
We do, actually, Mark gave us an estimate, now let me get my glasses back up. He feels like the remaining work to be done can be completed for $650,000.
Do we know how much we've already put into it, by chance?
No. So I actually, part of what I'm having Kim go back and do during the day is go back through some of the stuff, and we're trying to find what we approved when and things for that. So we'll have a final cost, but we haven't been able to go back all 5 years.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public?
Yeah.
Yes, sir, Mr. Oaks.
Yeah, backdoor water, one day. You made promises down there for the park. You're gonna keep it. You made promises for how many years we're getting our water down.
We've got our contract with Cleves. I'll give you a copy while you're here. Mr. Brett's got a copy. We're giving it to Cleves. Are we not? Why are we not, discussing it?
There's a couple things that I don't think got in to that draft that needed to be in, so I sent it back to Alex to say it. Signing, things like that, that we all agreed to, but, I think it should be spec'd out in the contract, so,
Okay, so our next meeting is when, April what?
third of like.
Third, and then Mr. Wilcox, when's your next meeting?
Let me look at my calendar, but I believe it's
So it is actually, it's went to them and they went back to us, and back to our attorney. And now everything just came back, Mr. Brett. When did we get that back from our cross Brown?
Latest version was yesterday, I gave them some changes today.
So, and then when are you meeting?
Our meeting will be the 10th of April, but our sooner we get the actual final draft is going to be helpful to get it out to our council members. We're not going to discuss it until the April 10th meeting. And I can't tell you what they're going to say at that point. I don't anticipate any problems, but that's the council's decision.
So when it's finalized, you just sort of, we'll discuss it and vote on it April 3rd.
Okay, tell me why we're gonna invest all this money, put it in Cleveland, when they already did it once, they took it out. So now we're gonna spend this money again to put it back, because you're not putting it right where it was. I'm telling you now, they tore all that out. And they got fuel tanks sitting there, everything. There's gonna be another problem, so now we're waiting another year.
No, we're not waiting another year.
No,
If, please,
Jim said it'd be in before the park's done. So we're only ahead of the park.
Watch. We've been through this for years.
the only thing, we're gonna have the contract, we can't put it in, if police doesn't want us, if they don't vote to put it in, it's up to their council. Mr. Burkhardt, can I something?
Township property.
For us, because everything is right there, we've got the parking lot, we won't have to pour any cement. We won't have to do any of that, wait on to do that and more, we can get it put in, get it up and running. And the next thing we're working on is trying to get that water line toward the road, we're getting ready to try to, we're not getting ready, we need to start on that. And we're talking Cleveland.
Thank you. It's been.
I hate to say this, but I've lived on Jordan Road. I've lived in this township all my life. I bought my house on Jordan Road in 1999. Since then, I've been told we're working on getting city water running down the street. Since then, more and more of the property that goes up for sale is bought by the park. which gives you more and more of a reason. You don't want to do it because you want to try to get the park to pay for their frontage going down and all this other happy crap. And from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, I will. That did Miami Township or Cleveland get a federal grant for putting this water in already? No. Why hasn't it been done that they have?
We haven't got a grant that I know.
That you did from burn all. And I gave you that flash drive that showed it all. I gave it to you. It's been a couple of years. But we done the research.
Somebody has gotten federal money to have this done.
And
And
we're not Miami Township. But here's the thing, though, we committed money to that project that we did 4 or 5 years ago, that we were gonna put the water line on Jordan Road. And we're trying to work with Cleats to get this water tap put in. And then we're moving on to the water line and trying to get you fire protection on Jordan Road. And then it's up to you whether you tap into
water
it or
up
not.
Jordan Road, you don't have to waste the money on this tap.
They're gonna do like they did to him up there in Gum Run.
They
run it up through there,
They're
they're
not
not
gonna
at the
let
town.
them continue.
Right.
See, so everybody else's property in this township
Goes up.
that has available water and sewage and everything else is worth what? Because once you go down to Jordan Road and those houses down there don't have city water. They have to have septic because they don't have city sewage. Their property values are less. That's crap.
But that's not the
It cost me
township's
just as
fault.
much to build my house as it did one of those up on top of the hill. But because I don't have city water, mine's worth less.
We're trying to put the water on the road.
Well, you better let me hook up to it.
Well, sure you will be able to. You'll
Don't
have the
do me
option.
like you did Gum Run.
You'll have the option.
I hope so.
Then it's up to you to ship
I mean, that's the whole reason I'm up here every month. I'm getting to be an old man. I don't want to haul water all my life.
And when we put the water lines in on Buffalo Bridge, people were able to tap into that. It was up to the homeowner. And the township paid for that water line to run along the road. It's up for the homeowner to pay from the roadway, right to the right of way on the private property all the way to your house. I don't control who taps in and who not.
Exactly. I
Our big
understand that.
thing is fire protection for you, and that's it.
I
We're
understand
giving
that.
you fresh water now.
How
We
many
make
years
complaints
ago,
about it.
since you ran water down Buffalo Bridge? You've been hearing we're next since then. Okay, I want to be next. I want to stand up right here, right now. David Bowling, 8805 Jordan Road. If I can make a motion in front of this committee, I want to make it right now. And I'm asking for a second.
I'll go.
You take care of the necessities of this township first, before you build a park, before you build some kind of musical amphitheater, or any other luxuries that you want. You take care of the necessities of these people first. I voted to pass for your new firehouses. I voted to pass all your garbage levies and everything else. God damn it, take care of me.
Watch our language. We're still.
Well, I'm tired of coming up here and wasting my
We're
time.
still professional.
You hand me a bull crap story every month. This has been dragging on for years.
All right, sir, you said your piece, thank you. Now, I'll respond to all your accusations. Your main accusation is we're not putting other things before that water line. Mr. Brookhurst was voted in mayor. You know this, the last Cleves Council and the mayor did not allow us. We approached them multiple times to put that water line on Jordan Road and said we would absorb the cost, the township would. We were denied them. So that's not true, all the accusations are saying.
Well, I'm just
Now, we're
saying what I
trying
know.
right now to get you fresh water. You were just up here 2 months ago
Yeah,
complaining about the fresh water. We're almost there. We're
yeah.
almost there. We're doing everything we can. We're doing it legally. We have to go back and forth between attorneys, between your board, our board. We have to do it the right way.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you one more time. This has been going on for months. All this time, I'm putting non-potable water into my house. Why? Because none of you will give me access to water. Not on the side of your
That's
fire.
not true. That is not
What do
true.
you mean it's
You
not
got
true?
Ken Iron Plumbing straight across the river.
That's fine
That's
for
within
somebody.
5
Till
minutes.
3 o'clock.
That's fine for somebody who doesn't work all day. You go to work from 6 in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon and see if you can make it there.
Okay, but I'm just telling you, you're saying there's nowhere to get it, but there is. Now, the hours of operations, I cannot control. That's a private business.
I understand that, but that's not available to all of us.
So let's move along with the public. Yes, sir.
May I respond to
Yes.
these two things? And not, I just came in office in January, but I've been watching these meetings for a long time. A good part of the holdup dealt with, I believe, Mohammed Islam, which
With planning and development, in
That's
Hayward
right.
County.
And that issue also was out of their control. That's a negotiation between Cleves Water and the township and Cincinnati Water Works. The way it works in village law versus township law is, for example, I have no authority over the water department. That's just the way it's set up. You either have a water board or you have a village administrator. We went to the village administrator a number of years ago. And I believe, if I understand this correctly, because I saw some of the legal documents that go back and forth, as I filed public records requests with the village of Cleves. There was an issue involving what I think Miami Township felt was the cost that the village, not the village of Cleves, but Cleves Water Works wanted to, as far as putting it in and the maintenance of it. I believe you felt, if I remember correctly, in the meeting, you talked about that being somewhat extortion. And I can't say whether it is or it isn't. I believe it's a moral right that you have an opportunity to have water, it's healthy water that you can use at your home. I believe that the township trustees feel the same way. There's still the problem of Cleves Water Works. I can't order them to do anything. So if you need to know legally, I can't order them. But I certainly can apply public pressure. And that's probably what we're gonna have to do. I can't tell you this is gonna happen on your time schedule, Dan's schedule, or my schedule. We still have negotiations, and right now we don't even have an administrator to represent that. We have a temporary, and our village council has extended our attorney is sort of the acting village administrator and will be so for 3 months. Or until the time they decide to either bring back an elected water board. That doesn't mean we have to elect it. The way the law reads, I would appoint council of approval. But even that decision is gonna have to be approved by the water board. So it's not just simple for the township trustees to come up and make happen what you wanted to have happen. I will also tell you that they were trying to get through where you could get water at a reasonable cost, and it was also a reasonable cost to the township. Some of the missing pieces, I think, in this discussion is the fact that there were other areas that were looked at by the township, and they were exorbitant costs. As far as the tap line being brought out, I believe Miami Township's gonna be paying to have that reinstalled. I went out with former trustee Jack Ritter and your safety director here, Jim Hughes. And we're not going to be putting it exactly in the same place it was. Part of the problem, my understanding was there was an argument of some sort between the village of Cleves and the Miami Township trustees. This goes back years ago about either there was an honor system going on and the Cleves Waters didn't feel like they were getting paid properly, and then they wound up hiring somebody to sit there, and then Cleves Water was paying for that. Somehow that didn't work out. The way this system is supposed to operate is you're actually gonna have your tap coming into our maintenance area, and it won't be available to the public during the operation hours, because that would interfere with our maintenance department. But I believe somewhere, I haven't seen the final contract, somewhere around 3:30, 3:45 in the afternoon until whatever time you guys decide. We open up at 7:30, so probably by 6 in the morning, it could be open. It's gonna be a credit card a swipe. You can self-service yourself. The actual tap, you're gonna be on solid ground. You're not gonna have to worry about the gas tank. The way I understand it, if all the permits have been approved, we're gonna be able to have an easy access in, easy access out. Some of the holdup, and this actually, in my mind, should have been resolved back in January. But there were other issues. There were concerns about the access. We're gonna be commercial water holders that we're gonna be lining up and blocking East Miami, or were they gonna be parking in the US Postal Service lines? We had to work out a number of those issues. So it's really not like they haven't done what they need to do. It just doesn't happen on their time schedule. It doesn't happen on my time schedule. And obviously, you've been waiting a long time, and it isn't on yours, and I apologize for that. But I want you to know the trustees have been working earnestly on your behalf, and I believe they will continue. And even though I will support, the lawyers are still going to be involved on this line going up too. And I think they have a plan. And I think if we can get our new administrator in, or maybe the water board, I think that can be presented, and hopefully we can work all those things out for your fire protection. I've had people in my village saying, why are you doing this? Please doesn't gain anything. To me, it's not about Please gaining anything. And I just had that conversation with former administrator Mike Rahal. This is more of a moral right, a right to the residents along Jordan Road to have fire protection, that they're not bringing in water haulers to fight it. But still, even believing it's a moral thing, they have, the water board, not the council, because council doesn't control it either, but the Cleve's Water Works is going to have to be brought on board. And I will be to make sure those conversations take place. And we will work together to make that happen as best we can and as quick.
When does the water board meet?
There is no water board.
Okay, so should they be at the April 10th meeting down there?
No, you have a council that will vote on the contract. That is within our authority. You don't have any problem with that.
Okay.
The problem will come up when you go to work on that water.
Gotcha.
That's where the problem is. There's not going to be any issue as long as the issues that both attorneys have been working on are resolved to your satisfaction and the police satisfaction.
All right, let's try to move
The
on.
thing is, it's simple. Up there in Backshider's property, we don't need no road, no concrete. Put a damn pipe coming up out of the ground to turn on like what Nyers got, like we're using now. It's that simple. $10,000 is done. Or put a tap on the fire hydrant down in the park. Put a meter. The waterworks won't give us one, but they'll give you one, and we'll pay the bill.
All right, let's move on. Anybody else?
No,
All right, good.
Well, I can, I'll just recap what they've already said. Ain't no point in me saying nothing.
Okay. Mr. Robertson?
Obviously I'll start with the investors meeting. I want to thank Representative Bill Seitz, Commissioner Denise Treehouse, and everyone else that presented. I think it was good, but it can be made better. And so we got a lot of good feedback, especially from some of the HOA presidents, as far as making it more interactive and more collaborative. So again, I think that that's a good start and something that we can build upon, but I'd like to take their feedback that we got and continue to improve it and make it even better. The levy did pass, as far as the Rocky levy, and I think that I asked Mr. Brett, I don't know if did you get to review of associated to look up how long, because I've gotten technicals, emails, Facebook messages, everything else leading up to it, and then even today after it passed. So I just think that we can continue to try to communicate because I think that some believe that this was a new, as much as we try to educate folks,
Right.
still felt like it was a new tax, and So previously, but they were paying how much per 100?
$67.04. $67.06 over 100,000 in value.
So we just want to make sure that everybody knows, and did we figure out about how long this has been in place for at least a certain number of years?
You would know 60 years.
172 it started.
Okay, so
A long time.
So I think that it's important that we continue to educate folks and let folks know that this started in 1972 and that this was not a new tax. And while it did technically expire and it was kind of presented that way, that this was not anything new. I also today had the honor of attending the Good Scout Luncheon down at the Duke Energy Center. And I know that we have a thriving and active Scout troop here, and I've attended several of their ceremonies and Eagle Scout ceremonies. And Rudy, Notre Dame's Rudy, was the featured speaker. So that was kind of him talking about the challenges that he had, obviously, and then all of a sudden blows up to the big screen production and all of that. But and then I wanted to point out one scout in particular, that Jack Hawkins, who has come to our Kiwanis meeting, come to several days. He's the one that built our flag retirement boxes. So he worked with Commander Borat down at the Legion, worked with myself up here from the Township, and have a box of the exterior of our community center right here, and then also down at the American Legion Hall. And he's doing a pretty neat project where he's going to trail around this summer, some of his music talents. And so I just wanted to point out that it's been a joy working with those future leaders of our community. And finally, to touch on, I know Mr. Brett brought up the rain drought previously, but I just want to let everyone know, again, that's another one where I'm asked every other day, so what's going on with the roundabout? And I just want to continue to reiterate that we did meet with Brett Schlim from the engineer's office. We are continuing to explore other funding options. I hear time again, so I guess it's dead, it's over with, it's, throwing the towel. And I can tell you, as far as I'm concerned, that's not the case at all. And we're continuing to look at any options we can, because I think that it would help our area up here continue to thrive. And I do like the suggestion, and we had good conversations as far as tying in dog trot and making that a new corridor where we really look to spruce up our economic development efforts there. So, right.
All right, just a couple things. Number one, just so the community is aware, the American Legion is doing the Porter Trade Scholarship. So that is open to any resident 25 and under that's interested in any kind of trade. That is an online application. So you can get there through the Miller Stockholm website, or there's a website for Porter Trade Scholarship on there. Last year, I think we awarded 13 individuals about $23,000. So it's a very worthwhile scholarship for anybody who's here in the community. And then with 2 more fish fries down there. So please join us. All right, just got a few things. The beautification committee and Megan came up and helped consider that. We planted the flower pots out here with the pansies and planted out back, down below, all the park, or all the hanging baskets. Julie Becker was part of that. Heather Rollins is also. I'd like to thank the voters also for passing that Rumpke levy. So it's just, it would have been nothing for the township. All the money that comes in goes back out to pay that Rumpke bill. Not $1 does the township get off the levy. But with that being said, the voters approved it, and if it wouldn't have been approved, you went to billing, you got your own bill, paid your own bills, and it would have been more expensive for all of our residents, including us. So I just wanted to make that clear. Any more questions from the public? Mr. Brett, you have anything else?
I do not, sir.
All right, anything else from the public? All right, the motion to adjourn. We'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Mr. Volrath?
Yeah.
Mr. Blanford?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
So why is there any, make sure they.